It starts with
one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property. Remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I've put my trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you. Pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna make it bend and break. Say a prayer, but let the good times roll. In case God doesn't show. And I want these words to
Alrighty guys, welcome in. We are here with Reminiscent versus Master. I'm really excited for this matchup. I think Reminiscent, as far as I've seen, has really been popping off lately in their tournaments, and Master, of course, is a really, really good EU team. So I'm very excited to see what these teams are able to achieve on both sides. I'm thinking that it could be a very close game. And these killers were both actually agreed upon by both teams. There was no real pick and ban, so both teams should feel pretty comfortable on each side. So I'm really hoping that we see some close games, both sides, both games. And for now, just starting out with Oni on the coal tower, looking for a survivor, but not quite finding anybody yet. Doing some edge map searching, but I would imagine, hopefully, that the survivors would not be on the edge map, since that is wildly unsafe. But we do start hearing some gen progress. The survivor has pre-left to the bottom side of the map, and it does seem like we are starting to see these survivors now, all taking chase towards Shaq, so that is, multiple survivors being here, and trying to bait the ace maybe into making a mistake, but he has just, that is not an ace, that is a Renato. What the? I thought that was the top hat ace, but no, that is actually a new skin for Halloween, I guess. And ooh, I think that greed right there, that little mistake, is going to cost us our first hit very early. And so Vamp gonna be fully taking this chase here, and oh, the crowd control gonna mean that he cannot revault that window, and Marco waiting out a slight second just to see if he can maybe get some more blood orbs. So yep, forces the vault, gets some blood orbs out of him, and then we'll take him farther down bot side into this 4gen he has down here. And I think that he will have enough blood between the windows and the hook there. So yep, does get the power. They did cleanse our Killer's Ruin. It kind of has a bit of an unorthodox build here. We do see the crowd control and the Ruin, but surprisingly not being paired with Penti. Instead going for a Brutal Strength, which hasn't really gotten him any value quite yet, but is useful, definitely, in the chases, but it has been, it is a bit surprising to skip that, that Penti. Trying to go for the Firecracker blind save, and honestly, I think it worked, but, it doesn't get the save. I think it is bugged, either purposely or not, but you will blind the killer out of the locker, but they won't drop the survivor, which is why it looked a little bit funny on our end, but they do attempt, and it does not come through, so now has this hook, still in the middle of this 3-gen, actually hooked even deeper into it, and gonna apply the eruption, so we do know now, the full build, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a hard game. I think this 3-gen scenario is just so hard. I mean, it's even a 4-gen. I mean, they can work that without much care, that top mid-gen, because they can just die pretty much as far topside as they want. But yeah, this 3-gen is very complicated. They can't really work anything. Since it is basically right next to the hook, they would have to be super aggressive. So they might just let Reze hit second stage here and just try and pop those 2 generators topside. But for now, yeah, that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing Reze hitting second stage here. And we did see, I believe, the K Swingblade on this top mid-gen. We actually see 2 survivors here. Makes Marco think maybe that somebody is bot side for the pull, but just going to go and apply the eruption here. Not going to proc the power. And that is kind of a problem for our survivors here. Because he has the survivor hooked in the middle of the 3-gen, there's really no rush to pop the power. You can kind of just keep it, and make sure they don't get this on hook. If it were to have been popped, you know, before second stage, or right after second stage, maybe there would have been a chance that, they could pull Reze and outrun the power, but just keeps the power for now. It makes it virtually impossible for them to really do anything here without risking everything. Looking around the bottom side to see if they can find the survivor, but it's gonna be really bad if Reze dies and they don't have at least those 2 topside gens popped. Does finally pop the gen, sees Vamp here, and actually allows him to get the stun. Oh, and he just barely gets it. Unfortunately, hitting Reze's BT does mean that, yeah, I mean, not going to make it pretty much anywhere. That is just going to be the down and the death hook coming out here. And Vamp has also been hooked once. That means he is on second stage, so that will make this even more complicated. They really need to pop that top mid generator, because popping that top mid generator does mean that at the very least they set themselves up with this this win con of or tight con of a 4K1, or win con of a 4K2, which is at the very least manageable. But you know, 4K2 is just like a far stretch on its own. And Marco knows this and is really keen to just keep this generator. knowing it's a 3v1, he doesn't need to aggressively protect the 3-gen anymore. Instead, he can kind of just commit topside for downs with power. But Ace doing a good job so far. He does have this pallet here, but it is just like, ooh, wildly unsafe. And yep, that is the down coming through. They actually chose to reset the Kate, and they are about to lose a lot of this progress on this top mid-gen. They did use a lot of his power, and because all of these downs came through with power, it is possible that they can deny him a little bit of power, but does lose this 50 here, so just going to break with that brutal strength, and I think that does mean that we're going to be seeing a hit here. And yep, we do see the tag come through. And with that, that will most certainly give him enough blood to have power up again. I'm not certain if he's going to commit here. I think he's going to go check on this generator really fast. And yeah, we do see the Ace running away from it. We also see the Kate running away from it. Getting a bit stuck here. I think he wants to turn around and prevent the Ace from going for it. We do see some scratch marks, but not quite entirely sure where he is. Finds him here on this rock. And it goes around that rock perfectly. Does get that down, and there will be, I believe, the second stage on the Ace as well, so, we do have another survivor getting somewhat close to death here. Now, what does surprise me here is, another thing about this build is the lack of pain res. It is allowed, and honestly, because of the size of this map, it's not too bad. Had he had pain res, I feel like this game definitely, would have been over maybe a long time ago. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that Bamp went for that, and I also cannot believe that didn't hit. That is actually crazy. Looks like he does want to just, yeah, he really wants to 4K2 this. And so he is heading back up into the top side of the map. Generator. Oh no, unfortunately, kind of forgetting about that unfortunate little thing called the eruption. And that does mean that the eruption will proc. That means they cannot pop that generator anymore. And we are gonna see the down onto Ace. He is just about out of power. And yeah, there's gonna be a 4K2. I think it's just like a culmination of that really early tag, and then that first death location, having that that hook in the middle of that 4-gen. I don't know if that was just that they didn't call it, or they just didn't know about it yet, but unfortunately, yeah, I mean, it just allowed him to get his power and just sit there the entire game. Really, really unfortunate for Reminiscent here off to a bit of a rough start, but I know that this was like I said, this was a killer that they both agreed on, so I'm imagining that they will be able to put forward a pretty good Oni result as well. Maybe at least keep the points close together. The thing is about Oni is that, like, when he is on ping, it becomes a little bit more, it's a bit more complicated. I know, I've talked to a couple people who, like, they love Oni on same ping, but different ping, it is just like, they find it to be the most boring thing in the world, and I am kind of on that same note where, it just, you can just lose to unfortunate net hits or 50-50s, and definitely makes it a lot more difficult to deny power and play a more interesting game. So I think there's still the chance that Reminiscent can get a really high result here just because of that nature of it. But we will be back when we get to the next match.
hotel rooms, collecting paychecks to lovers, getting me out of my mind, get you out of those clothes. I'm a runner away from getting you into the moon. One night and one more time. Thanks for the memories, even though they weren't so great. He tastes like you, sweeter. One night.
tears I've cried, screaming, deceiving, and bleeding for you, and you still won't hear me. Don't want your hand this time, I'll save myself. Maybe I'll wake up for once, not tormented daily, defeated by you, just when I thought.
Alrighty, everybody, we are back in with match number 2. Gonna be having Vamp playing Oni. Already seeing 3 separate survivors on the bot side of the map. We do see Pedro running over here to this seawall, and it looks like playing this short side. Vamp not going for an over mind game just to make sure he does not make Shack. And he is just gonna mind game this, see if he can get a tag nice and early here. But Pedro does just full send it away from that seawall and goes all the way up here, where I think he has a 4-lane. Yep, and it is a good 4-lane. Bloodlust 3 coming in. Vamp moving really fast right now, but unfortunately, kind of allows him to make that pallet for free despite the Bloodlust 3. Oh, it was actually Bloodlust 2. That's my bad. I blind apparently. And yeah, I imagine we will see this hit coming soon, just because of the Bloodlust 3. But oh, Pedro playing so nice. Will not be giving a tag and actually completely loses him. I think I think he full sent it over to the 4-lane. Yeah, and wow, really, oh my, that is so unfortunate for Vamp here. I think swinging on that pallet just lost him everything, because it gave him enough distance to just keep running around the tile, looking into the window, and so on and so forth. And then he, of course, lost him, and therefore his Bloodlust completely went away. So now he has to restart this entire chase from scratch. Gonna be breaking both doors, just not have the Bamboozle. Instead, opted to run the Brutal Strength, just like Marco did, and does find Ace kind of chilling over here. But like I said, this is the safer variation of the 4-lane. Ace getting his Lithe off, I believe, and Vamp, I think, is having a really hard time tracking him. Just tracking in general. He's lost to Ace now as well, loses his Bloodlust once again, and Ace is gonna be able to make it all the way down the map. And yeah, I don't think Vamp is too happy right now. Makes his way to this, what is this called again? The eye tile. And we'll just drop it immediately and break it. And yeah, I think Vamp is kind of resigning himself a little bit here. I think just that early game is so hard to come back from. It is not completely over yet. It is Oni after all, but does get that pallet out of him, but he's not going to be able to break it. Instead of walking all the way down the map, trying to cut the survivor off, but they have just decided to go on the hill. And it could be a balanced landing, I think, but yeah, I think that, I'm not certain if that was a balanced landing, but to be fair, when the hill is the way, oriented the way it is, it's not a bad idea to just go to the hill and play your distance. And they do have this God Filler here. Trying to get the hit, but this is linked really nicely into this window here. Going to just take the drop on it. Breaks the pallet, but he's just going to be able to make it all the way to this other filler as well as Shack. And I can't help but think the other survivors are just 3-splitting on you know, the top side gen spread. And actually the crazy thing is, I think they also had a gen spread bottom, because there's main and I think 9. I don't think they really even had, or 8 rather, and 1. So I don't even know if they really had a really terrible 3-gen topside anyways. And honestly, their RNG has been very favorable to them as well. And I think, I mean, they still have plenty left on the map. They still have this God Filler down here. This Ormond tile never got dropped. They still have the Shack pallet. And honestly, I think, and I had this filler here too. That is crazy for them. And I think honestly, we could see a 0-hit game or a 0-hook game. But as I say that, we do see Marco getting caught out on an LT. And yeah, I mean, at the very least, it is going to be 5 generators complete without a hit, more or less. But we do get this power. Vamp is going to instantly pop it, see if he can try and maybe get some stages before endgame. Doesn't find anybody here, so gonna head all the way to the bottom side. And yeah, that's 2 generators that are 99. Oh, dropping the firecracker at the perfect time. But, oh my goodness, he was able to get the down through the, through the blind. Marco there to take a hit, waste a little bit of that power. But we'll get that adrenaline. And is still gonna get the down here. He could maybe get a 6 stage here, which is not ideal, but would at least give him some points. Because, I mean, getting 1, 2, 3 stages when you get 4K'd, it's just not, it's just so hard to bring that back. And yeah, these survivors are all running to the gate. It looks like they are just going to take that 1K3. Vamp does not have any more blood orbs, any power. It's not like he has Blood Warden, so that is going to be 3 stage coming out. Really, really well played by Master here. I expected it to be, you know, a much closer game, but I think I really underestimated just how good, you know, Master's. I mean, how good their mechanics are. They, I mean, played every single pallet, every single tile just beautifully. And like I said, it took them about 5 generators to even give a tag. I mean, that is really impressive, especially being on ping. I mean, you know, Vamp had Bloodlust 3, and Pedro was still able to deny a tag and get it away for, you know, at the beginning of the game. So that's very impressive. And so after this, we will be going to a less chase-oriented set. We're going to be going to the Dredge on Midwich. So going to be seeing a little bit of a different side of both teams, getting to see that game sense, that macro, and we will see what kind of results both teams can put forward. Alrighty guys, we are back in on set number 2. Going to the Midwich Elementary School to get some Dredge. And Vamp, of course, playing Dredge for Team Reminiscent. This is nothing new. Vamp has been playing this killer for, I want to say, about 2 years, I think. I could totally be getting my timeline messed up, but I know he has been playing this for a long time, and his Dredge is no joke, so I'm hoping this goes well, and getting into chase on this survivor here, Ballet, but I think Vamp thinks his net is worse than it is. On this game and the Oni game, he was swinging at some crazy stuff, but yeah, it is not working out, so he does still eventually get the hit. Gonna be dropping the Scott pallet. And so far, I mean, I don't really know if I would say this game is slow or fast for him. I feel like a lot of times with this this map, I don't know if it's supposed to be this way, but you see really early downs come through on this killer. But not going to drop that pallet, drops it now. Places the remnant down. And Adam does just make a dash for it. He will be making it to this next pallet here. And goes for a nice slow vault. But he will still be giving a tag. That is a sloppy butcher tag as well. And he's not really interested in committing to anything yet. I think wants to play a slower game where he gets people injured and then plays, plays basically a hit and run play style. But yeah, gets people injured and then, finds them later when they're maybe a little bit out of position and unaware. And that is what he did there. He found Pele a little bit out of position, but these survivors are not messing around. They do get 2 generators popped. Does find this survivor. I want to say this survivor is insta-downed, but he has a lot of distance. Unfortunately, no locker around, really, to make things easy for him. And not interested in this down yet. He's going to go for this unhook here, where they do FTP this survivor player. This is not an uncommon strategy, since this killer is pretty good at tunneling. They do give that FTP really early on first hook rather than second hook. And Van not going for that TP there, instead just places his remnant down again. He will get this tag, but these survivors are doing a really good job wasting a lot of time. They are getting tagged, they are going down, but they, even though they're in these kind of bad positions, they're wasting so much of his time just to get the tags in the first place. And he's not going to make this window that will be the down. This door is thankfully already open. But he's going to play for a little bit more. I think this is a smart idea. And Marco trying to, bait him into walking through it, but does end up dropping it on the wrong side, and that will be the down coming through. Curious if he is going to pick here. Does find a survivor. Is he going to play for this tag? He is. But unfortunately, they have these windows set up exactly where they need them every time. We do see another generator go. And they're going to go for the pick on this survivor now. This one's also not worth a... Oh no! Oh no, that is devastating. That is actually game-changing for Master here. Just teleported right back to the locker that where the Fang was, and that resulted in the Adam getting grabbed out of the locker, and with the Jake being found here, about to give a tag, that will be all 4 survivors injured, and it is gonna be, that is gonna be 3 survivors down here any second, I think. Yeah, there's no way he makes this pallet, right? yeah, is gonna force the locker, which I think is the best play here. Might give our Renato the chance to go and get this pickup, get this unhook, but he is gonna have to fly at it and pray that he is able to make it in time. He does get the unhook, but just gonna leave Marco Slug for now. This is a bit risky considering the rule set, but he is willing to risk it here. And does find the ace, or not the ace, excuse me, the Atom. Gets a relatively fast down. And now just on the lookout for Renato here. Does not get any Killer Instinct. Oh, but sees him hiding in this corner with his add-on. Yeah, we are entering this last chase, I think. I don't think there's any way for Renato to do anything here. And I think if he sees people on the floor, that means it will be pretty simple for him to find the Fang after the fact. But, man, like I said, that turned from 0 to 100 so fast. Just because of that locker pull. And, you know, Vamp could have overcommitted for, you know, for the tunnel out, or overcommitted for, you know, for that first chase, but he did the right thing. He played it slow and ended up resulting in a 4K2. That's a really nice result. It's a good way to bring it back. The only problem for Reminiscent here is that they are going to have to restage if they want to pull this into the tiebreaker, which is really going to be very difficult. Unfortunately, just the nature of this rule set, but I think that these guys are well versed in Dredge. I know, like I said, Vamp plays it a lot. They have a lot of experience against a very good Dredge here, and if Master is maybe a little bit unprepared and their killer isn't up to par, I mean, Reminiscent still has the chance to pull it back here. But yeah, I mean, it is going to be super difficult for certain. So we'll be back shortly. We'll have Reminiscent playing serve, Master playing killer, and we will see if we'll see who's gonna win this.
confident, cause you don't understand. I do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. I am what you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So I let go, watching you turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't change this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I can't feel. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be.
Alrighty, guys, we are in on what could be the last set. Gonna be having Pedro playing the Dredge for Team Master here against the survivors of Reminiscent. Going to see if Reminiscent can pull off a 3-stage to tie this up, or if they will be, losing this here. And you know, if Pedro gets higher stages than 3 stages, that would be Master taking the win. Of course, we haven't talked about the third option where Reminiscent gets a 2-stage and wins this, which would be absolutely crazy. But we do see Vamp taking that first chase. They're not going to be giving a tag, and so Pedro going to lead this entirely. Finds another survivor down here waiting on this pallet. And yeah, they do. It's not a great pallet, to be fair. So this will be a tag pretty fast on the pallet here. And we actually find a Claudette as well. Dropping the God pallet for him, blinding, giving him a little bit of distance here. And kind of running into a wall. I think trying to track the Claudette to the blindness, but not able to do so. So we do hear the Atom. We heard him on that locker, but I'm not certain if Pedro picked up on that. So he does just come out of the locker over here. Not on anybody at the moment. Nightfall has ended, so now would be the time for our survivors to make a lot of progress, get some generator progress, get pallet reset, and you know, play this slow, and you know, not give up any more tags, not give it free down. It's really important that they get Atom reset right now. Guys, you saw last game, you know, Master had a great early game, but they kind of, they ended up with 3 people tagged, and that kind of changed the entire game for them. And we did see, Reze around that corner, so, that tag will come through. And I think that's what Dredge is really all about. It's just about managing your tags, managing your healthy and injured survivors, because if too many people are injured, I think this needs to be a hit tank from Swingblade. Yeah, if you get to the point where, you know, you have multiple people injured, especially if he goes into Nightfall, you're going to be looking at your Dredge just teleporting all over the place, you know, getting free downs back to back, and that could be really, I mean, that is just game-changing. Does find, I believe this is Vamps, I don't see any blood on the ground. I think this is one healthy survivor, and we do see these 2 injured survivors. And, I mean, he's now kind of chasing both of them, but they do split up, they do get away from one another. But Nightfall is coming through here, and I can't imagine with Nightfall in play that this will be the longest chase in the world. And, yeah, unfortunately, goes for the vault, not going to be able to make it. And that will be the first down of the game. 5 generators still remaining. They do have, well, they did have 1 generator that was really progressed. We do see it pop there. Gonna teleport across the map, gonna proc this Grim Embrace. and that will buy him a little bit of time to find another survivor. And they still have not reset either of the injured survivors. Both Adam and Kate are still injured. We do see this generator here. I'm going to use that pop goes the weasel. And Kate does get reset, so that is good for the survivors. But, I mean, with such a hefty win con, it's looking really difficult for them. The other thing about this win con is that the only person that can be hooked now is Reze. You cannot go for a trade. So they do get the unhook for free. It is not a trade. And the tunnel is going to be in a full swing on to our Claudette here. But both God Pallets have been used, so they are going to have to really juke hard and see if they can maybe get some help from their teammates. Because I think without help here, I think we're looking at just a really rough game. Does run through that Remnant, but runs a little bit too close to Pedro, and that is going to be the down. And just going to pick the Claudette, ensure this second stage, and I don't think Adam will be able to pop that. It is 10% from the eruption. He was trying, but it looks like he's actually going to give a tag for that attempt. Does make it to this pallet. And actually makes it again. Really well played. Pedro was not expecting that. So, with that pallet being down and this pallet being down, Ida has to leave this. Just pop the generator and leave. I was gonna say, if he wanted to play really safe, he could just go for Vamp there. That would immediately secure the win con. But Pedro wants the best result possible. Wants to prove that even in your normal tourney, where it's just about winning one set, winning the next, not so much about points, he wants to prove that they can win both sets. It does go for the TP. Claudette did read that, and she did double back, but she does not have a lot of distance here. Yeah, I mean, this is not a good pallet. And our killer just reading it perfectly. And that will be the third down coming in. We do see another generator pop. But it's a bit of an unfortunate way to go into this 3v1. You have Vamp injured from that FTP. This generator never popped. I mean, the chase was so close to it. And I think he just missed a skill check, so that generator is definitely not popping. They're going to break this pallet, clear this area out a little bit, and there is a Vamp here as well. Waiting for that eruption, applying the pop, and this generator should be, I think it's at about 5 gen regression events now. And does find this reset here. But this pallet is gone, so unless there's a hit tank coming through, there is. I was gonna say, Adam might go down, but he actually stays alive. And it is a bit of a problem because all 3 survivors are injured now, and this is kind of what I was talking about. I mean, once you have, 2 or 3 survivors injured, everything gets out of hand, even in a 4v1. I mean, it's just virtually impossible to deal with. And yeah, that is the down coming through onto Vamp, and now I can just slug this out, play this really fast pace, and just light a 3-man slug, 3 generators remaining, and you might just win this cut and dry. Does bait the Kate a little bit, but she's trying to make the window, but not going to be able to make it. And that will be the down coming through. And with that being said, that is only one more survivor up. He does end up getting the pick onto Vamp. And with this locker being locked, they have a little bit of distance to maybe bring things back if they can get the Kate up, but I think he did go for the cutoff here. Yeah, he did. And not going to go for the slug again, just going to pick and hook. That pick and hook is, of course, the official win con for Master here, so they are taking this set. They are taking the win overall. And, I mean, that Grim Embrace means no more gen progress, while he does just look around for these other survivors. And I've got to imagine with the pulp and the eruption that generator That was so close so many times. I have to imagine that is, yeah. I mean, it's still got some progress, but definitely not as far along as it was. Does find a reset. And they do get them both reset. I was gonna say they might go build a house together, but they actually, Adam does decide that he does not want to move in with Vamp, and therefore will be giving a tag as a result. Pedro does teleport just in time to cut Vamp off and does get this tag. So once again, all that resetting gone to waste a little bit here. It looks like he's gonna commit to Vamp now. He does make this pallet, but unfortunately Pedro kind of baiting him into waiting a little bit, does swing through it. And that is going to be him getting slugged, and ooh, Adam not quite sure where our killer is, does run right into him, and he knows where Kate is, so she's trying to stealth it out, but he did see her slow vault that window, and he got the killer instinct, so that is going to be the final down coming through onto Kate, most likely. Yep, not able to make that pallet. And that is going to be a 4K3, so very, very good win coming out from Master here, taking that kind of difficult win con of a 4K2, and, I mean, Pedro just clearly had a really good grasp on what he needed to do, got that tunnel out really fast, really early, and prevented the survivors from completing more than 2 generators, which is a very, very strong result, but GG's to Reminiscent nonetheless. I mean, the Dredge performance from Vamp was, of course, very clean as always, so still very much enjoyed watching these two play it out, but it will be Master taking that win. I think that is the rest of the games for tonight. I looked very briefly. But, you know, if you guys wanted to watch any other games, you would know when. But there's so many things in this server that I always forget where the time slot is. There it is. So yeah, that is the last game for today. But we will be back with a bunch of games tomorrow. We're gonna have 4 different games tomorrow. With teams like Jinx, Loyalty, Vicinal, so if you want to come watch those, we'll be live here. My guess, I'm pretty certain I'm casting most of those, so, or at least a few of those, so, we will be back then, but for now, GG's Reminiscent, GG's Master. Thank you guys for playing, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your night.